Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Miranda and I will be your Enchantress of Avalon, taking you on a journey into the lands mystical and into Avalon. So for this week's topic, I have just chosen to discuss a topic that I've already covered on my blog, whiteroseofavalon.life, in one of my magical lifestyle posts, and that is living the fairy life. And it is what I refer to how I live and kind of my philosophies on how I live. And it's about bringing a feeling of magic into your everyday life. So I thought that it was an appropriate topic for this channel and also just a great connection into one of my older blog posts that I did get quite a few people liking, and I really just wanted to touch upon it again. So, some of the ways that I bring this feeling of magic into my everyday life is starts with surrounding myself with fairy imagery. And as I'm sure you can see, like even just behind me, I have one of my Morgan Le Fay images. It's hard to come by really beautiful images of Morgan, but this is one that I came by, and I know from a distance it's a little hard to see, but it's Morgan, and she has a little elf companion, and she has gorgeous wings that are going out and this long gown. And it's a very Avalonian image, but very dark and nighttime, and I really enjoy that. And it just has this absolutely lovely aesthetic to it. Other fairy images I have around my house include like little fairy statues and figurines. I have a fairy hanging above my bed. Instead of having a dream catcher, I have a fairy hanging above my bed because I feel like that brings me, pleasant dreams and also prophetic dreams, which is really cool. I have prints of paintings that have a fairy association as well. I have a print, you've seen it in some of my videos before. It's a print of La Belle Dame Saint Merci by John Waterhouse. And the Waterhouse print is, of course, based upon the Waterhouse painting that the print is based upon the story of the poem by John Keats, La Belle Dame Saint Merci, and that is about a fairy woman. So I have fairies and mermaids and things all over my house, and it just brings this very magical and ethereal energy that is so important. Uh, for me personally, I haven't really talked about this before on my channel, but I'm a pescatarian. It means that I do not eat meat. I eat fish, I eat dairy and eggs, and I eat primarily a plant-based diet. It is what works for me. I'm not trying to convince anyone to have this type of lifestyle, but for me, because I am eating primarily plant-based foods, that is a very fairy association, and fairies also have a lot of the feelings that, mammals are sacred. So the not eating the meat of animals is something that is also that fairy connotation with it. And with eating fish, that's mermaids, which are, of course, water fairies, are often thought to eat a lot of fish. Obviously, they live in the water. So they would eat diets kind of similar to larger, more predatory fish would eat because they're half human, half fish. And the next thing I want to talk about is the clothes you wear. The clothes you wear to get this more magical fairy energy, you should be choosing clothes not just based on how they fit, although that should be a part of it, how they fit, how they look, but also how they feel. You want things that when you feel them, they feel good against your skin, You want really soft, natural fibers a lot of times, like cottons, like the sweater I'm wearing is a cotton sweater. You want just anything that feels very nice on your skin. You don't want, it's impossible to not have any unnatural fibers. There's a lot of synthetic fibers in clothes. It's hard to get all natural, but clothes that are made of natural fibers like cotton and wool, silk, Again, if it is wool, a blend is probably best just because wool on its own can get very itchy and that is defeating the purpose. And especially in your more summery clothes, uh, light and airy feel, anything that kind of flows as you're wearing it. I really love having dresses on that have the skirt really open and flowy, and that makes you feel very ethereal. Let's see. Skincare and hair care are really important, especially if you're looking for this ethereal, glowing, fairy agelessness. So I take incredibly good care of my hair and skin. In my skin, it's not really a choice. As I'm sure you can tell, I'm incredibly fair skinned. I need to take very good care of my skin because I can burn very easily in the sunlight. I can get windburn if I'm out in a windy on a windy day. So I need to take very good care. I need to be bundling myself up in the cold. I need to be wearing sunscreen every day. I mean, everyone should, but I really need to prevent any sort of negative things happening to my skin. As for hair care, it's this whole idea of taking care of your hair, making sure it's healthy and looks the way you want it to look. It could look anyway, but I find that as something that's very associated with this fairy energy is taking care of your own body. And let's see what do I have next on my list. Oh well, kind of an obvious one. I am a big person who loves to go barefoot. I during the summer, if I'm out, in a park or something, I'm kicking off my sandals and walking around barefoot. I love to be barefoot. I go to music festivals and I usually only put on sandals if I absolutely have to. I love the feel of the grass and even the dirt beneath my feet. It's just this very natural, and it's that connection to the earth itself. And certainly I love, being barefoot on the beach, feeling the sand in my toes and being in the water. It's anything that makes you feel a connection to the natural world is a very fairy thing. Uh, Dancing and singing, which I'm a huge fan of both. I love to dance, I love to sing, and I do know how to play some instruments, and I'm also learning how to play other instruments. So anything that is musically centered is something that you could say is associated with the fairies, because in a lot of stories we have of the fae folk, we have them, dancing around. Even the idea of where do fairy rings come from? Fairy rings come from the fairies dancing in a circle, and they tramped down the grass, and that's where that ring came from. So that's something that you want something simple that might make the energy around you feel a little bit more magical, just loosen up, throw on some music, and dance around like nobody's watching. And other things for me are things like burning incense and candles, which I do all the time. My house almost always smells like incense or candles of some sort because I love having that burning, and I think that the incense just cleanses the air and makes it feel better. And watching fantasy films and television shows, reading fantasy literature that have fae as characters, keeping in flowers and plants around you and tending to them is a very fae thing. Studying herb lore, star lore, astrology, astronomy, anything of that nature connects you into fairy realms. Avalon is a fairy realm, obviously, so this is part of why we're talking about this on this channel. And what else? Something that's just personal for me is watching thunderstorms. Ever since I was little, I always loved to sit on my front porch and watch thunderstorms when it was storming out. And it's a mixture of the elements. You have the air and in the raging wind, and you have the lightning, you have which is obviously fire, and you have water in the actual rain that's coming down. So you have this burgeoning of so many elements together that it just feels magical and energetic and a little bit dangerous at the same time. It's an absolutely incredible thing. And also, I'm a big yoga practitioner, so yoga and meditation are other great ways that I feel you could connect with the Fae if you are choosing to think about it. You have to, energetically be thinking about it. So if you are while you're practicing yoga or meditating, it should be something to help you feel a little closer. And by picking and choosing bits of these things and incorporating them into your daily life, I think that you can make a more magical world around you. And at the end of the day, just thinking of magic as thinking of it, your life as magical, and trying to feel a little bit better about yourself on a daily basis. That's really what this is about at the end of the day, is bringing in things that feel like a positively energetic thing to make life a little bit more pleasant. So I hope that these tips and tricks have been interesting for you, and I also hope that maybe you'll take some of them and incorporate them into your life. So do let me know what you think in the comment section. And please, if you're enjoying what I'm doing here, like, subscribe, and also check out my blog, White Rose of Avalon.life, and consider following me. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye.